Welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. I hope you're all doing well. Happy Monday. How was everyone's weekend? How's everyone feeling about the holiday season? I know it can be festive time for some, difficult time for others, and I know some of you may not even celebrate it, but I hope today brings you some peace, brings you some clarity. Please be open to the messages that Spirit brings for you today. The list is now closed. If you didn't make the list, and also for regular viewers, I'm going to be doing a Boxing Day special on the 26th as well, which I'll put out soon, so just look out for that and you can pre-book. Quick reminder of how I read. So I'm an energy reader connecting to your energy, your situation. Please provide context, detail, background as much as you can, as much as you feel comfortable with. It allows me to connect with your energy and give you a meaningful reading. I don't read on yes, no questions, timelines or general. And today I'm using the beautiful Guardian of the Night Tarot. So I hope you enjoy that, but I'm just going to go over and grab the list. Hey Geeta, hey Devea, Sruthi, Danny, and I can't see that top name, but hello to you. Right, gonna grab the list. So we've got Venny first. I'm not sure if I've seen Venny, but if you are here, please do go ahead and post. And then we have Shreya, who is after Venny, if you want to be ready. And I'll just start shuffling the cards and we'll get into it. Perfect, thank you Venny. Awesome. So Venny asks, how will my career in 2026 be? Hope I can finally get a new job and move from my current place. I've just applied for a job, hoping for an interview call soon. Awesome. Let's see what the cards say, Bunny. Hey Geeta, hey Sruthi. Yes, nice to see new names. And returning. Venny. Okay, so let's go job 2026. See what the energy is around career and work for you, Venny, in 2026. What's coming through? Ooh, King of Swords. I'm going to pull a clarifying card because I want to know if this is someone who's coming in or if this is the energy that you need to embody. Okay, I believe it's your energy that we need to follow. So 2026, increase in finances. Wonderful to see 9 of Pentacles. This is a very prosperous card. This is a really good omen, and it's about becoming financially independent, financially successful, Venny, okay, and being able to really the kind of confidence booster that brings, the peace that brings. We can see this kind of bear who I always think, you know, it looks like they're having a deep sigh of relief and they can finally rest, knowing that they've got the security of these gold coins, pentacles, money. Now, in order to kind of get here, the process can be, we've got the King of Swords. The King of Swords is quite a tough character, okay? So I feel like you need to bring this energy to how you approach work. It's about being savvy, analytical. It's about being very direct in communication. It's something to focus on. Swords is all about communication, how we communicate to others, and being quite tough and looking after our energy as well. So not being wishy-washy, but being very straightforward, cutting our losses of stuff that doesn't serve us as well. It could be of someone of influence that comes into your life, who could be a manager or a person in power who offers you this job. This is something to watch out for. Their characteristics is someone who, like I say, can be quite a tough character, but they are very fair. They can sometimes come across as harsh with their communication, but what you can do is that you can always trust in what they say is the truth. So they might critique you, but you'll kind of grow from that critique, because it will always be good advice and spot on. So watch out for this kind of energy as well, because this could be a signal that this is on the right path, and where a manager or someone, a hiring manager, etc., who may come into your life, who can guide you to this financial independence and next step. But I also would say there's a double message here about you bringing this energy yourself, and don't shy away from asking for what you want and really going after what you want, but go with it. Use your head, not your heart. That's the advice for this in 2026. So be realistic, don't be idealistic in a way. And there might be some tough decisions somewhere along the line as well, Venny, that you would need to make that maybe you can't anticipate yet, but it's about 2026 is geared up, I feel like, to be a very dynamic year, full of change. As I've spoken about before, it's the year of the Yang Fire Horse, which is really, really intense energy, a lot of movement, a lot of energy for transformation. And it's really kind of feels like an energy about putting yourself first in order to make those changes and get the results that we really want to see. It's like a time to not hold back anymore. I hope that resonated for you. Thank you, Geeta, my love, for your kind moderation. It's much appreciated. So next up we have Shreya, my love, if you are here. Hey, Malhotra. Okay, sorry, Kritika. Kritika. Hey, Ivo. You're very welcome. Positive read there, Venny. So lots to think on, and lovely to see that 9 of Pentacles there for you. Thank you so much, Geeta. So we have Shreya Ray, Tia Beer, my love. I've seen you here. If you can be ready to post. Like I say, if you missed today's list, if it was closed, if it does fill up quick nowadays, I hope this will be a good day for people to do a Christmas special on Boxing Day. So that'll be the 26th of December. And I'll get that up and list opened soon, so you can get that booked in advance. Yeah, I don't think Shrey is here, so Tia being my love, just go ahead and post. Thank you again, Geeta. TB. I'll just post the list again whilst I'm waiting so everyone knows where they're at. Thanks, Tia. Awesome. Oh, a beautiful day. Okay, so Tia says, anything I need to know that's coming for me with Pisces, please? Me and Pisces had a beautiful date yesterday. No worries, Tia. Me and Pisces had a beautiful date yesterday. Awesome. And I see him opening up to me more and more. Wonderful. Do you know any indication as to why that change has happened to you, just intuitively on your side? No, Namira, you're not late. Just check the list above there. There's a while to go before your reading. Okay, Tia, let's have a look what comes next with your Pisces. Oh, nice. King of Cups. So they are emotionally opening up. This is confirmation. King of Cups is the energy of being able to really kind of manage your emotions, yeah, be more mature, so becoming less reactive and being able to feel big feelings, deep feelings, and the deepening of their feelings for you. So all of that, yeah, very emotionally driven and a lot of depth in this card, as you can see by these deep waters here that we have. But the king is what we're moving towards and what we want, which is emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, and someone who can feel all these feelings and not feel the need to try and reject them, or you know, the insecurity that we've seen in him in the past. So maybe that's what he's been able to get a handle on. And Tia says he's trusting more, maybe. Okay, I'm working on myself and he is too. We mirror. Awesome. So as you grow, he's been able to grow with you. And that's very much reflected in this King of Cups. It's all very nice card to see that, yeah. And that will continue to deepen. And it's about being able to be more vulnerable, yeah, and lean into that finally, maybe for both of you. Anything else, spirit guidance for Tia, or as we move forward in this connection? Oh my goodness, look, 10 of Cups. I love all this cups, which is about, you know, we can finally let our guard down and soften, you know, our hearts, really, our heart space, and be more open. 10 of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. The 10 is a completion, really, as well, of finally kind of getting to that place that we've wanted to be. So you're on the right track, and you're on the right energy line, yeah, if that makes sense. Like, I always see it as a kind of channel that we can tune into, yeah. I sometimes just simply call it, like, you know, the love channel, really, which sounds kind of funny, but it's like if we can get on that channel, then we can be just so freely open to giving and receiving love on all levels, yeah. With this will expand to other connections that you have, so your platonic relationships, your family as well, you know. If we can get on that channel, then we can move through the world with that. But specifically regarding to this connection, you know, there's a sense of really falling in love, I suppose. You may even already be in love, but falling to a deeper level of love, and it becoming stronger and maturing, and all the more satisfying for that. So something's falling away here, something's changing, shifting. Awesome, well done for doing the work there, Tia, because it's been a real journey, yeah. It's been a real journey, this connection, but you were able to move and grow together. Keep us posted. Danny Carmona, my love, if you are here, please go ahead and post. And after Danny, we have Kristen. You're welcome, Tia. Thank you, Danny. So Danny asks, this man named Josh from Australia recently messaged me. Was curious if he's just being friendly or what are his intentions. Okay, let's have a look at Josh's energy. Oh. So it doesn't matter about gender, but we have the Queen of Cups. I'm drawn to this Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck as well. It just drew my eye to it. But the Queen of Cups is romance. You know, it is emotion. There is a deep dive here. So this is someone who thinks and feels deeply or is on the search for a real connection. Yeah. So that's the energy that they're coming forward with, and that's really a clear indication to me of what they're looking for, what they want. Obviously they may want to dive in deeply quickly, but this is long term anyway, what they are searching for, looking for love, looking for a real connection. They have got some hurt and pain, Ten of Swords, which they probably haven't shared with you. I don't know how much you've shared what you're communicating about, if it's just kind of superficial at the moment. But behind this search for something real and for love, there is a Ten of Swords, which is some heartache, some pain, a past relationship, I would say, where there was some heartbreak, some betrayal, some disappointment, but that is over now. The Ten of Swords, it indicates that chapter has ended, it's been closed out, and what comes after the 10 is the Ace, which is where I think they find themselves at now. Yes, they carry wounds, but they are ready, Ace, to start something new and move on, and they've managed to remain open emotionally through this journey as well, so that's something to be commended for. Yeah. So obviously I don't know where you're at, Danny, but this is where they're at. Yeah. Hope that resonated. And Kristen, my love, I hope you are here. Please do post your question if you are. Geeta's kindly moderating. If you want to keep an eye on the chat of her posts as well. You are very welcome, Danny. I'm not sure if I've seen Kristen actually. She might be here, but sometimes I know she can't make it. Country, my love. I think I saw Country. Thanks, Geeta. If yeah, it's really kind of her, isn't it, Namira? Keeping us all right. But yeah, I think Kristen, I mean, if Kristen posts, I'll read for her, but Country, if you want to go ahead. The mirror as well, I'm doing, hopefully you can make it, I'll put it up on the community post, but I'm doing a Boxing Day special on the 26th of December as well, if you're able to make it. And for anyone who, you know, hopefully you can make it. I don't know if that's a good time for everyone. Thanks, Ruthie. Yes, we'll move on to Ruthie, who asks, what is coming in regarding to my love life in 2026? Ooh, you've got more wands, Ruthie, in the last few readings. You've had, you know, last reading on Monday, I remember that we just had, again, lots of wands, Queen of Wands. I can't remember what the other card was, but I know it was wands. And then anyway, we have the Eight of Wands again. So all this kicking up the dust, fire energy, change. Look at, we've got this snake here in the distance, and the snake that is shedding its skin, but also this really kind of powerful eagle bird that's swooping in. And for anyone who kind of knows the tarot, knows that Eight of Wands is about movement, fast moving energy, progression, change. So again, that same energy of transformation and fire, of things moving really quickly for you in 2026, Ruthie. I know you were hoping for a peaceful year, but so far it feels like, you know, a fast-paced year for you, in line with that fire horse energy, but also every tarot card that I've had for you. Let's pull one more. I mean, this is good, you know. I know that in the area of love that you've wanted to see change and wanted to see movement and progression. And it can move fast, and it can be, you know, full on and intense whenever we see this card, but it can guarantee for you change. Yes, you are in your wand era. And we get to leave, so this is as well what hasn't worked out, and this is what remains, and this is what the Five of Cups asks us to focus on. Okay, that after everything you've kind of experienced in love so far, and how that's shaped your outlook, and how that's shaped your opinion of love, and maybe shaped the kind of partner that you want. This is an opportunity in 2026. We must just look away from the loss and the disappointment. Don't numb out or ignore it. Like, we can acknowledge it and about how it's changed us, but we must look forward, and we must look again, more kind of these fire bugs that are here, but it's like a light. So if there's anyone who you still feel that there is a connection to, maybe that after disappointments, but you still feel a lingering connection, or if it's just your outlook on love and connection, it's about still what can happen, and staying in that mindset, and really looking away about what didn't work out, because there is this wonderful promise of fast movement, change, and you know, things can turn around and change so fast that we can move so quickly from this kind of energy into this. So this is exciting for you, Sruthi. I hope that resonated. Hey Samreen, I hope you're well. Oh, you are next, my love. Awesome. Namira says, oh, you're at home. Seer, no worries if you can't make it, Namira. You celebrate Christmas from the 25th to the 27th. Love and lights, Ruthie. So Samreen asks, no, this is your... Oh, how strange, Samreen. Sorry. It's your turn, so you've arrived right on time, Samreen. Right on time. I'll post the list again. So is this you and the pilot? Yes, Samreen. I think Samreen was having trouble getting in, Geeta. She was getting an error message. So just confirm. Yes, there we go. Okay, so let's look at commitment in this relationship and what is coming. Two of Swords. Okay, so there's some indecision here with the Two of Swords. And the reason for this indecision is from some heartache, heartbreak, historically in the past, yeah? See how kind of painful that card is, some deep wounds. And the Two of Swords is we're kind of scared basically to take the leap, to take a leap of faith. So I feel like that this can be your pilot. Yes, Samreen, unless you're resonating with this. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I suspect that this is the pilot, okay? And what the card is about this Two of Swords is that the longer we kind of linger in not holding off on taking this risk and kind of needing to be the frog and to take a leap of faith and to jump in, because I feel like the feelings are there. You know, there is some depth of feeling. They care for you, they may be falling in love with you, but there's this fear of getting hurt basically, which is holding them back. But really, it's like when we're in a relationship and when we're with someone, we can't actually protect ourselves really from being affected or from being hurt. If we open our heart and we open ourselves to real love, then we also open ourselves to hurt and pain. Much like these swords, you know, that they can cut. And what's actually almost feels like the most uncomfortable part of this is the indecision, and that they're in some kind of uncomfortable position in really, you know, almost resisting falling, if you think falling off a cliff, that kind of sensation, and that almost trying to hold off the inevitable in a way. So I feel like Spirit would say, you know, they should just really encourage them to take this leap of faith. But this is what's going on for them. You know, we can obviously read further down the line if this is to shift and change. But if you are sensing this holding back or indecision, this is what it's based in. There couldn't be a more kind of simpler message there of indecision based off fear of being hurt. So I know that you've got a good relationship, you know that it's been quite well from what you've told me, Samreen. So if you want to see this out, and maybe in time that they will take this leap of faith and take this chance. But for now, they're kind of in a rest. They're feeling stuck. They're on the precipice of taking that leap of faith, but they're not quite there yet because of this. So I hope that resonated. Hey country, if you want to hang on to the end to see if there's, I can try and read for you then if I've got time. I'll read for Namira now, but if anyone drops out, you know, there's a few people that haven't showed up, so if you do want to wait till the end, you're welcome, Samreen. Okay. Namira says, here we go. Hi, Seer, says Namira. I heard that my other neighbour made a complaint to the landlord last week. Oh, right, okay. And they are going to talk to Corian. Corian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What are they going to say about the situation? It's a really terrible noise. So is Corian the neighbour, yeah? Who's making the terrible noise? The same one who I know that you spoke to, and we hoped that it had resonated, yeah? So let's have a look at the energy of that. So what's going to be said with your neighbour? I'm kind of pleased that that they've gone to the landlord as well, Namira, yeah? Okay. So this is your neighbour's energy who is putting forward the complaint, who's going to speak to Corian. And I feel like this feels like good energy, okay? Again, there isn't like kind of aggression here, but also it's about Nine of Cups is about really kind of looking after yourself. So I feel like that they understand that, you know, their peace, their happiness, as yours is too, you know, is really important and needs to be voiced and needs to be raised as like a valid concern. Nine of Cups is kind of, I always think, an energy of looking after yourself. And it's about searching for peace, and it's about searching for satisfaction as well. So it's like they want to resolve this, and much like you, I feel like they're coming from a place of good heart, but it's at that breaking point where, you know, something's got to be done, but they have this kind of mild manner maybe about them, or that they are, you know, this is maybe they are searching for peace and a resolution. This is the landlord's energy, okay? And I feel like they need to, in a way, buck up and be strong, and really that it lies with them, because they're ultimately the only ones who kind of really have the power to make an impact, I think, on your neighbor. And I guess the book stops with them in the sense of having to ask this person, unfortunately, to leave if they're not able to, you know, if they're causing noise pollution and disturbance. So what I would say is maybe that you and your neighbor need to put the pressure on in the right spot, yeah, on the landlord. And this is the right place to put your energy, okay? They have the power to change. It's their responsibility. It's their tenant. You shouldn't even really have to be. I understand why you have, but I don't think you should even having to be speaking to them yourself, you know? That isn't your responsibility. So if you can and your neighbour can stand together, if there's any other neighbours as well that can be brought into this for support, and then it's like power in numbers. And then I would direct this to say, you know, this is your job, this is your responsibility. We've reached that point where, you know, for a long time where it's been very unacceptable and something has to change. But I feel, as in answer to your question of what will be discussed and what will be said, I feel like your neighbour is just bringing through this peaceful, you know, I'm just asking for you, you know, with kindness and asking them to be quiet. But ultimately, you know, my happiness is at stake here, and I'm not going to let that slide. Which I feel like is a very similar energy to you. You know, I don't mean no harm, but something's got to give. This isn't fair. So I hope that the landlord then, Namira, will do the right thing, okay? Keep us posted, yeah? Okay, moving on. You're welcome, country. Moving on to Nat Nat. Thanks for posting, Nat Nat. Nat Nat says, hello, Seer. Any guidance on what I need to know for my higher self this coming year? 2026. Welcome, Namira. Nat Nat 2026. Four of Swords. Somewhere in, I'm going to pull another card to build a bigger picture, but Four of Swords is somewhere we need to take a rest, maybe after a period of burnout or pushing ourselves very intensely. We need to retreat and rest somehow, take our foot off the gas. We've been pushing ourselves in some direction very hard, and the Four of Swords is the, you know, rest is as good as action in order to get what you want. Ooh, because we are preparing for the Lovers card. Beautiful. So Lovers connection here, which I know is where you've wanted to see change, and you've made a lot of difficult decisions that have been the best decisions for you, Nat, I think, and worked on boundaries and you've done a lot of inner work and outer work through verbalizing, you know, your beliefs and your boundaries, and drawing lines and cutting people off who didn't, you know, deserve your energy. So I'm glad that that resonates, that you need that rest. So this could be at the beginning of the year, yeah, particularly sort of in the months of January, February, starting the year with it's okay to go slow. Like I say, rest is as good as action, and to kind of hibernate in a way, and maybe just fill your cup and be with yourself or loved ones, you know, whatever rest looks like to you, because in preparation for this major arcana, which will be a big shift, you know, the rest will be over in a way. So it's a bit like the message, rest while you can, is what I'm hearing, because once this kicks in, then this will be a whole big journey, yeah, to something completely new, to someone to connect with on a deep level. Because like I've spoken about before, 2026 does look to be a year of transformation, change, and very fast moving, being in the Chinese New Year, the fire horse. So somewhat of a roller coaster, yeah. And it's about trying to stay balanced in a very intense year. So yeah, I'm hearing just rest while you can. Don't see it as being stuck or lack of movement. Just enjoy it while you can, because this is what's coming, yeah. Exciting. I hope that resonated, Nat. Nice to see that Lovers card there. Okay, Geeta, my love, this is for you. So Geeta asks, what Prem energy around me? I didn't connect with him today, but I started watching his name everywhere and YouTube, so I connect with him online. Yes, mentally hard to switch off. Meditation, visualization, all the usual stopping points if you can, Nat, to help ease that. So Geeta, just remind me about this connection. So is this about the person who, I know you've got an online connection, is that right? And you email? Do you want to have a look at the energy between yourself and them, yeah? Welcome as always, Nat. I'm just waiting for Geeta to clarify. I think there's a delay in this. There's always a delay in this chat. Just remind me, Geeta, about your person, that you want to do an energy check-in, is that right? On the online connection. Okay, so let's see what's going on with that for you. Ooh, Queen of Wands. So you did connect with him online today, yeah? Because the Queen of Wands is about being very direct, and it's about kind of following your heart and not holding back. So in a way, it's okay to trust the emotions, to go with those actions and try and take control of the situation today. Okay, we're kind of just looking at the energy of today. And the Queen of Wands is very direct and she doesn't hold back. It's fire energy, so again, it's movement, change, kicking up the dust. It's not waiting for things to be perfect. It's just being instinctual, yeah, and being very driven. So I feel like Spirit is saying that it's okay to follow these instincts today and to maybe take the lead and take charge. I mean, I don't know how much that you've opened up as well about your feelings, if that feels like appropriate timing or not to do that, but maybe Spirit might be encouraging you with this Queen of Wands to share a bit more about your thoughts and feelings and your crush and express that a bit more. I don't know if that's already been discussed or said, but like I say, the Queen of Wands is about being pretty open really about what you want and how you feel. Yeah, because there is an energy here, there is a connection that we know about. Two of Pentacles, you know, this is your two's energy that has appeared, and there is a connection here and you are mirroring each other. And the Two of Pentacles is about, you know, there is potential here, I think, for this connection to grow and for this energy to build. In some ways with the Two of Pentacles, it can be when it can go very fast, and the advice here is that we need to stay grounded and centered, with represented here by this kind of golden planet energy at the center here. So we are mirroring each other, which is kind of saying that there is something that is happening here. It's going both ways, it's mutual. And if you can, I would open up a bit more today, at least anyway, in your communication. Don't be too shy or holding back. Let's try and move this forward. You know, what's the end goal of this connection? Do we want it to develop, deepen, meet in, you know, real life? You know, let it grow, let it develop. And this Queen of Wands energy is about going after what you want. And that's what the message that Spirit says today. Really go after what you want, Geeta. I hope that resonated. Hey, Danny, my love. I hope you're well. Okay, so my style motivation. If you are here, it's your turn, my love. Woo. Hey, Jazz. Do you want to go ahead and post, Jazz? I'm not sure if, and then if my style posts, will I'll read for them as well, but just so we can keep it moving. Yes, it is mutual, exactly, Geeta. That's what it was saying with that Two of Pentacles. It's, you are mirroring each other. No worries, Danny baby. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. My next live, if you can make it, would be the 26th of December. I'm going to do a Boxing Day special. Okay, so I'll read for my style motivation and then jazz. Hey Alvin, thanks for letting me know you're here. I'm glad that resonated, Geeta. Okay, so my style. What areas of my life deserve the most attention in 2026? I like that question. Okay. Ooh, Major Arcana. Okay, so the devil energy is about, it's a big transformation, okay? It's a deep transformational energy. 2026 is, if I can speak, brings that energy anyway. So this is double down this message for you, my style, okay? And the devil's all about looking at the habits that don't serve us anymore, okay? Behaviors that we know are not good for us, are not healthy. It can be how we show up in relationships. It can be really in any area of your life, you know, but those are shadow side more. It can also heavily talk about relationships and people who aren't good for us and we need to release in our lives. And it's about cutting those really what can be connections that can become chains. So what areas in your life, what toxic behaviors or habits are you connected to, or do you do in your life that really you've outgrown? Maybe once they were a coping mechanism, but now we're at that point where we really have outgrown them, and that we recognize now we've evolved enough, we've grown enough, we've healed enough to recognize that what isn't good for us, like we can see that what we're doing is toxic. And now is this year is the chance to release that kind of energy. And what you'll hold space for, my style, is healthier habits, healthier relationships, things that it's like really on a deep level, it's about taking care of yourself and not being self-destructive. Yeah, the devil energy can be very self-destructive, can even talk about, for some people, about addictions, you know. And we all have we all have these, you know, it's not unique, but this is what Spirit is asking you to focus on. So I hope that resonates. Yeah. And then what you will, if you can do that, you see, this is the kind of reward, or the whole point of it, of doing that. Because it can feel like, if we're in a sort of, say, for example, a toxic connection, there can be a lot of fear around releasing that connection. And for some people, the fear maybe of being alone. This is just one thing. So they'd rather keep the toxic person around. But that energy and that connection is filling that space and blocking this Ace of Wands, which is new opportunities, movement, change, fire. It's like excitement, things that inspire you, creative opportunities, or connections that are more fun and inspiring and get you fired up. Wands is all about our heart's desires and receiving really what we truly want. And that's the reason to do this work, this really kind of more heavier work and shadow work, where we have to dig in deep. But this is what is on the other side of that for you, my style. So I hope that resonates. Thank you, Geeta. Yes, so we'll do Jazz next. So, who or what isn't good for you anymore? My style. You need to cut them loose in 2026. Thank you, Jazz. So Jazz says, how are things going to be between me and A at workplace? Sometimes we get into slight arguments, otherwise he acts shy or doesn't converse at all. How strange. Let's have a look. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, my style. I'm glad I'm glad you know what to do, yeah? Jazz. So how are things going to be between me and A at the workplace? Oh, the Magician, Major Arcana. I feel like you've had this card before. The Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. So, few things here. The Magician always comes in to tell us that we are kind of in control of our destiny. Well, it's a co-collaboration, a co-creation, I like to think, between the universe and us, but also like the energy that we put out and our intention. So I think, Jazz, that you need to move forward with the intention of whatever you want from, what would you like from this relationship? What would you like it to be? Is it that you just like to have a sense of peace, or that you would, obviously you want to work together well, but get really specific about actually what that means. Like, how would working together well, what would that look like? So write that down and get really clear and get really intentional, I think, about what you want this relationship to be. And in some ways, take the lead and set the pace of this connection, that you can have an impact on this. You're not just the recipient of this, if that makes sense. It's not that it's all in their hands. And I feel like you need to be very strong in that conviction. And because they're obviously flip-flopping around, that, you know, you get in disagreements, then they're all shy. It's like this kind of up and down kind of energy, yeah. And I feel like you're the one who has to be, in some ways, the mature one, the boss, take the lead. I know that you're not their boss literally, but you know, in energetically you can be the boss, yeah. And set the pace and write down exactly how you'd like this connection to work and what you'd like the future to be, and move forward that intention. And the Seven of Pentacles, you see here, is that about focusing on your work and your path as well. And I feel like that you've come further than what you may think. The Seven of Pentacles is about assessing the situation and looking back as well. So in this connection, about what's worked and what doesn't. So it's about kind of gathering information and being quite analytical about the situation. So it's, with any kind of work, it's like you can look back and say, okay, well, I know that's what I need to do to be successful in that way. I know that that process wasn't as good, it didn't work as well, so I'm not going to do that. And in a way, it can be the same with relationships. You can say, okay, well, I know when I acted like this, that was kind of a trigger point. I know that when I need to use this kind of tone with this person. You know, we can reflect and we can assess in relationships about how we're interacting and what was going on when it was going well and what happened when it didn't. And that's how we learn, evolve, and grow. And I kind of feel like it's not as bad as maybe you worry. Maybe you think too much about this and that it's you shouldn't let it get to you as much as it does. Maybe just keep focused on your work and don't let them affect you too deeply. But also using the savviness and the ability to reflect to help you kind of win in this situation and feel, maybe get a sense of control back. Yeah. So I hope that resonates. Literally write a list of how you want this work relationship to be, and keep kind of going back to that, and keep then, what would that, how would you have to behave to achieve that? Thank you, Geeta. The foghorns are blowing. Naresh, Kritika, Anshaman. What is it? A megaphone, not a foghorn. A megaphone. I'm glad that resonates, Jazz. Keep us posted, yeah? Don't let them like mess you around, yeah? Don't let them play games with you. I feel like there's some game playing going on. Thank you, Kritika. Kritika asks, current feelings a vape have for me, please. In contact, our connection has become dormant. Okay, good word. No efforts from either side now, ambiguity only. Okay, thank you, Kritika. This country laughing at the megaphones. Okay. Let's have a look at this connection, Kritika. What is going on? Well, we know what's going on, but what's going on beneath the surface? I think we've lost a few, Geeta. Oh, look at this. Kritika. Change is on the horizon, okay? It's weird. It's like everything's gone quiet, yeah? Total stillness. And then we have the kind of antithesis of that energy, the opposite, with the Wheel of Fortune, which is about change, movement. The wheel is turning, yeah? And it's like luck is back on your side. It feels like the universe is kind of, you know, in a sense of flow with you, that you can get back into a flow state with this. It's always positive change when we see the Wheel of Fortune. It's always good stuff is coming, okay? And we've got the beautiful wisdom of the white owl there, all centered around the snake of transformation. And then we've got that spider in there as well, which is like built that kind of web of the wheel. Let's take another card because I just want to find out a little bit more. Here's this spider's web again. So Seven of Pentacles is about a period of assessment and about having a chance to reflect on what works and what doesn't in this connection. And being careful moving forward to kind of learn from the lessons, that you've been through. Maybe it was about giving less energy, critiquer, okay? Being in a way kind of like analytical, almost about like how you would apply to a job. Like I said about this before, this came through earlier, that we can, Seven of Pentacles, we can look back, we've actually come further than what we think. And maybe I think you taking a step back, holding boundaries, doing some inner work has kind of changed the dynamic energetically between you and this connection, your person, okay? And it's about being careful about, say, this Wheel of Fortune would suggest that, you're going to come back into each other's energy field. Potentially in a big way, in a fast moving way. That suddenly this connection will be back in play. And that's when we need to apply what we've learned historically, okay? And not repeat the same mistakes. Apply everything that we've learned in the separation, in the time apart. One final card on their energy now. Okay, so, I mean, if you're done with this person and this energy, then this can be a whole new cycle. It doesn't have to be a new cycle with them. If they're in the past, then that's, leave them in the past. And then the Wheel of Fortune can be a whole new, different adventure for you with someone else. So you decide but change and positive change is coming. But if you're done with this person, then, this Wheel of Fortune can be a whole new cycle for you, giving energy to the wrong people. So you can apply this to a whole new connection, a whole new person. I'll do one card on their energy. And that sounds like a good attitude critiquer. If you cannot step up for me, then bye to him. Also, this is his energy though, the Chariot. So I think you will hear from him again. The Chariot is like forward momentum and them coming towards you. But he'll have to see obviously what they come forward with, critique, okay? It could be too little, too late, by the time they come rolling around. So really, if when they do, I think this is saying when, really, that they come back through with communication, really test that boundary, if that makes sense. Like, I imagine it sounds like you're already there, but don't just open them with welcome with open arms, if I can get that out right. But it does sound like that you're done, so this is really nice to see though, critiquer, okay? Movement, change, totally different energy coming in. Hope that resonated. Okay, so what we'll do is Alvin I did see Alvin, so if Alvin can post, and then finally Country, who I believe is here. So if Alvin and Country can both post, and then that will be it for today. I think the others have left. You're welcome, Kritika. All the positive changes, exactly, with or without him, that Wheel of Fortune is coming. Sounds like you're in a really good headspace, Kritika, that you've no more waiting, just like you say. Okay, thank you, Alvin. So Alvin says, what is emerging from my business this coming year? I remember you saying this, that you took some time off to help caregiving for my parents, but now need to get my business up and running again. Lots of ideas, just overwhelmed. Yeah, because I remember last time there was kind of like, it was almost like a tentative energy that you had to re-enter that world. But let's see what 2026 has to offer, because this is going to be, from what I understand, will be an intense year and a full-on year, and a year of really big transformations, which will be good, but also needing to balance those energies and not get burnt out. But let's really dig into this. And I think, Geeta, I'll just I'll close that now. So I'll just read for Alvin, and then Country last but not least, and then I won't read for anyone else anymore. We've done the roll call enough times, so I'll have to end after Alvin and Country. Okay, Alvin, so what's emerging for Alvin's business in 2026, please, Spirit? Ooh, Major Arcana. So again, big shifts, big energy. This is going to be a big focus for you, Alvin. I feel like you're already aware of that. There's kind of a lot that can be done, and there is the potential for a lot of success, but also we have to manage that not getting burnt out and overwhelmed, which I think maybe happened in the past as well. So in a way, it feels good. I feel like there's lots of opportunity. And the High Priestess is all about having to really go on our gut feelings. Okay, the High Priestess is able to see beyond the veil. So don't trust necessarily, like, don't take anything on face value. So I hope this resonates. Say new connections that you make, or new ideas even that you make. It's all about going towards what feels right. And if something maybe or someone feels too good to be true, then believe that and trust that. Listen to that inner voice. It seems to be one of the most important aspects of business, yeah, which I think you're probably already aware of if you've been here before and been on that path, that instinct in business is a huge part of success. And a lot of people may be like naysayers about, like, oh, that won't work, and that's ridiculous. They can be very mocking about ideas, or just maybe don't understand it, or say that's too much of a big idea, or what, a million kind of things that can say this won't work. But your instinct can decipher what is possible, really, and knows what's best and what's right. Yes, beautiful Ganesh, overcomer of obstacles. So move instinctually. Oh, and then you've got another major arcana, Alvin. So, you know, big stuff happening here. And the Hermit, it can be about maybe majority of the time in some ways about working alone, and again coming back to kind of your insight, tuning out the other people's voices. I feel like the whole message is somehow like building trust and confidence in yourself and knowing what's right and what's wrong, and really listening to your voice, not being too influenced by outside people or circumstance. The Hermit card is about being really on your own journey, spending time alone, spending time to reflect, to process and gain insight again on what a lot of time looking inwards, about making the right decisions. So if you as I imagine will talk to other people, will go out in the world and push forward with your business. And then once you've done that, had a period of going out, pushing out, getting the word out there, talking to people, maybe networking, making connections, pull back, you know, go into hermit mode, shut down, take some time to reflect and really think about what you want to do and what you want out of this experience. It's really about what's truly, again, what does success mean to you? You have to do it your way. Yeah. So don't be influenced by circumstances, other people. Ultimately, you know, listen to your voice and your voice only. And, you know, connect to spirit as well, your soul, your instinct. That's where your truth is, and that's where your answers will be. So it's really kind of like having faith in yourself. Hope that resonates, Alvin. Thank you, Geeta, so much. I really appreciate you. It makes a hell of a lot easier for me, so I really appreciate it, Geeta. It's your Christmas gift to me. Thank you. Alvin says, thank you, that resonates. I have been doing that all year. Okay, going out there and pulling back to reflect and integrate. Awesome. So you're already doing it, Alvin. Keep doing then what you're doing and deepening your faith in your own voice, yeah? This is your business and you're going after building it and how you want it to be. Okay. Country, last but not least, my dear. Country asks, what do I need to work on most for the upcoming year? Let's have a look, Country. Page of Swords. Oh, goodness. Too many cards. We'll take that one. Okay. And we'll take that one. We need to focus on, you need to focus on Country. Page of Swords, like, is really, kind of doesn't hold back in how they communicate. I feel like you almost need to stop being as in some ways so generous and kind in your communication. I know that sounds kind of almost counterintuitive to tell someone not to be like that, but the Page of Swords kind of doesn't really give a damn, you know, what other people think or feel. And there's something that about this year that it's okay to be a little bit sharper and a little bit more quick off the mark about telling people what you think, what you really think and feel about them, okay? We don't have to be mean, we don't have to be nasty with our words, but it's just really about being assertive. Country says stop being a pushover and let them have it. Got it. Well, in a nutshell, yeah, that's what the Page of Swords is like, is really like that. Like they aren't, you know, responsible for other people, and they aren't responsible for other people's feelings. And I feel like there needs to be more of that for you, Country, as well, because I feel like you're carrying people's burdens for them. And you know, it's such a lovely thing to have, to be a giver, and we need more people in the world who are kind and generous and giving. But we also need to be look after ourselves and not give energy to those that don't deserve it, because this is where the Six of Pentacles comes in, which is about that balance between give and take and reciprocity, only giving, you know, really kind of looking at what we get back, and the goal being balance. And if we're not getting back what we're putting in, then, you know, this Page of Swords wouldn't hang around, wouldn't put up with that. And they also would verbalize it, you know, like get it off your chest more, what you actually think and feel. Be a little bit more challenging to people, like this wasn't okay, you know, this is how I really feel, this is my boundary. You know, just get quite sharp with your communication. Like I say, it's not about being nasty or mean, it's just about being assertive. And then the Ten of Wands is putting that burden down, because I feel like it's your precious energy, yeah, your precious energy that can be focused on what you want more, and other areas of your life that need it, yeah, where you would like to see movement and change. The Ten of Wands is putting down a burden, and I feel like you are carrying other people's burdens, and this needs to stop, yeah, like that's your precious energy. And only the thing is as well, we can carry other people's burdens, but we can't resolve it for them. And as someone who does carry, you know, who has lots of experience in carrying other people's burdens, I've learned the hard way that you can't resolve it for them either. You can carry it, but it doesn't really do them any good either. We know this, but you know, it's instinctual sometimes for us still to pick up people's problems, and it's our job really to know when to let go and being a bit more brutal. So I hope that resonated, Country. It's a very loving message from Spirit, really, and it's not meant as criticism, but Spirit wants you to, you know, clap back, yeah? Clap back in 2026. I hope that resonated. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the live there. Shreya, I'm sorry, yes, we did call you, but you weren't here, so then I do have to just move on. But I will be live again on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, so you can catch us then. Country says, yes, this makes a ton of sense. Thank you. Good. I'm glad that resonates, Country. And a big thank you to Geeta for being so awesome today, moderating. It's really appreciated, Geeta. Many thanks to you. And I mean, happy Christmas to everyone of those who celebrate. And hopefully I check in and see you on Boxing Day if you can make it then. But love and light to everyone. Take care. Thank you, Geeta. Merry Christmas, Shreya. Thank you. Thanks, Shreya. I'm glad you know. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you did. Bye guys. Happy Christmas.